Welcome back to the Intentional Household Podcast. Today, we're diving into a conversation that goes far beyond reps, routines, and gym walls. We're exploring the value of having a trainer, not just as a coach, but as a partner in your wellness journey. Why that support matters, when to know you could use the help, and the lasting impact of teamwork and positive role modeling for the next generation. Joining me is Liz Corrente, a certified personal trainer, nutrition coach, and former counselor with over a decade of experience helping women and female athletes connect their mental, emotional, and physical health through fitness and wellness. Liz, welcome to the episode. Thank you so much for being here. For the listeners who don't know you, can you share a little bit about your background in athletics and psychology and counseling and how that has shaped who you are and how you work as a trainer?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to speak with you and chat with you today. I'm super honored. What a great opportunity to be here. And I hope, I hope people can take a lot from this, from our conversation today. So my background is I have a double master's in psychology and counseling. I have worked in a school counselor setting over my career, working with K through 12th grade. My daughter was born almost 13 years ago. And at that moment, I decided that I was going to stay at home with my children and pivoted my career a bit to the fitness industry. It always had been an important part of my life. But I became a fitness coach, a certified fitness coach, a certified personal trainer, and a certified nutritionist, and built a business around that in conjunction with the background in psychology, sort of combining everything, looking at sort of the whole approach of health and wellness. I'm also a lacrosse coach for a varsity girls lacrosse team in the area where I live, and I've been doing that for 5 years. So working with young women, young girls, implementing fitness, health, wellness into their world as well. So that's what I've been doing over the last few decades.
I love how you have this psychology piece, because I think that for trainers or even being a past dietitian or for nutritionists, I think that is one incredibly important factor that is often missing. So for you to kind of be able to see the whole picture and cover all those aspects is incredible. And I can imagine just like how much more of an impact and an understanding you can have with those who you coach and train and whatnot.
Yeah. You're just able to look at like the whole picture.
Yes.
I find with having both of them. So it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah. I really wanted to have you come on and talk about training and fitness and wellness, because having a trainer in my life has had a massive impact, and I have been able to, reach beyond the potential I ever had, and it has affected kind of like my whole life. And I see the challenges that not only women, but individuals, men as well, have trying to do things on their own. But yeah, a lot of women, they feel like they have to do it all on their own, whether, it's managing their career, the family, the household, and then also finding time to fit in taking care of themselves. Why do you think so many women feel like this is a journey on their own and they need to do it on their own?
Yeah, that's a great question. And my take on it, and again, it's only my perspective, but if you think about when we were growing up as young girls, we have this message that's been programmed in our brain. You can have it all. You can do it all. Right? You can have the marriage, you can have the career, you can have the kids, you can have everything you want, right? In the next breath, we're told, but it takes a village, right? So which one is it, right? Which philosophy, which approach are we supposed to have as women? What I have seen in my career and what I have seen with my clients, who are for the most part women, is this: I can do it all by myself, because the moment I ask for help, I've been told, right? I've been told I can do this, I can do it, I can have it all. The moment I ask for help or seek help, I am now suddenly seen as weak.
Yes.
And so what I get with a lot of my clients is they've reached their threshold of being able to attempt to manage this journey, whatever that journey might look like, by themselves. And it's unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate that we don't recognize it sooner. I actually believe, just having worked with so many clients over the years and working with young girls, I actually believe we recognize it pretty quickly. We just don't seek the support because we don't want to be seen as weak. And so we bury it, right? We push it down. I've got it. I can do this by myself. I can handle all this. I can do this fitness thing alone. I can do this, whatever it is, by myself. And ultimately, the most successful people in whatever field you're looking at go to other people for support and help.
Yes.
And they recognize that the journey is probably going to be a little bit easier with the support of others. And that's what I try at least to teach my clients and the girls I coach. Asking for help and seeking support from a trainer or anybody is a good thing.
And one thing that I want to point out is that for so many of us who see, let's just say it's celebrities or anyone who is in the public eye and they are fit, a lot of people think, oh, like that's so nice. They're fit, whatever. But they aren't seeing the factor that they're likely having support to get to that point, to be fit. They aren't doing it alone either.
Yes.
They aren't just naturally built that way. In order to maintain that, they have that person supporting them.
Yes.
And I know, like for me personally, I really, after I had my third child and I realized that I needed to start working out because my body was in so much pain. And I knew that I hired someone because I wanted that accountability.
Yes.
But realizing now, and that trainer, that was a different one than I had than the one I have now.
Okay.
But they are the experts in helping me or individuals get to a certain point. If I had tried to do that on my own, not only did I have, I wouldn't have had the accountability, but how would I know what I need to do to achieve certain levels or certain goals?
Right.
And I see so many women in the gym trying to do it on their own, and not getting the results that they want. And not because I'm looking at them thinking they aren't getting the results, but like hearing from friends and other individuals, I am putting so much work in and I'm not getting the results that I want. So how does someone know when it is time to venture out and stop trying it on their own and actually seek that support?
Yeah, I think that the most obvious answer, right, is, like you said, I've been going to the gym 4 days a week. I've been working out. I've been eating better or eating clean. And I'm not seeing what I want to be seeing. Right. Yeah. So that's like your most obvious answer that I can probably give you. And and probably everybody knows that. The visual, the tangible results are going to drive most people to seek a trainer. My philosophy and my approach is a little different. Okay. And so for what it's worth, I believe when you have reached that pivotal moment just internally, intrinsically, where you're like, I can no longer do this by myself. Okay. And you come to understand that you need help or you need support. And it could be that you're seeing results. It could just be that it's taking twice the effort to get them. And maybe you could do it a little differently, or maybe you could do it a little bit without so much stress on your body. But it's that moment for me. And when I work with clients and when I work with, the students on the lacrosse team, it's like when you reach that moment within yourself where you're like, I can't do this by myself.
Okay.
And you're okay saying that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that is the point where you're like, where one would say, okay, now I need to seek the support of an expert.
Okay.
And I wouldn't go into, I don't know, finance and be like, I can handle this. I know exactly what I'm doing. I have not a clue what I am doing in finance. If I have no idea or have never been into a gym before, and most of my clients seek me or seek a trainer or seek support because they walk into a gym and they have no idea what they're doing. They look at the machines. They are terrified. They don't know how to use them properly. They don't know how to use them at all. And so what they do is they head over to the treadmill and they just walk because it's easy. Everybody knows how to walk, right? Everyone knows what to do there. And then they could say, well, I've been going to the gym and I've been doing my walks and I've been doing and I'm not seeing results. You're probably not doing what your body needs because you don't know necessarily what your body needs. And that's why we have trainers. Yes. That's why we have people out here that are experts in this field. So I guess in answer to your question, that is what I would say is when it is important to seek out the support of an expert who can truly help you.
And I mean, our time is so valuable. Everyone's time is valuable. Moms especially. And I would say like every minute counts.
Yes.
And so if you have an hour where you can work out, like how can you make the most of that hour? Right. Can you spend the hour with a trainer who is going to push you every minute of that hour? Or do you want to just walk on a treadmill and like check it off the list, say you did it, but you're not getting the results?
Right. Right. That's just to jump in.
Yeah.
That's a great point because your time is very valuable. And those minutes, especially when you're busy, either working mom, stay-at-home mom, kids in the house, kids at school, whatever your day looks like, right? Your time is valuable. I actually, on a personal note, I only spend about 30 to 45 minutes in a gym.
Okay.
I don't really talk to anybody. I'm in and I'm out. And I get done what is the most efficient for my time because I'm busy. And I have to go train other clients or I've got to go to whatever it is the next thing that I'm doing. But I've learned over the years that I don't need to spend 2 hours in a gym aimlessly doing something. Use your time wisely, use it efficiently, and a trainer can be an excellent resource to help program and build a schedule around that.
Okay, you made such a good point because you're saying, hey, you are efficient with your time, right? You're in and out maybe 30, 40 minutes. But that's another thing to consider because if you're going to the gym and you're spending time, you're texting, you're just like shooting the shit with people, maybe you're going with a friend and you're chatting, I think it's worth asking yourself, am I putting in my best effort? Right? Because it's really nice to be able to go, have that hour and not have to think about anything else but working out, right? Like you're not thinking about your problems or your worries or what you have to do next because you're so tuned in to working out. And I know like for me, if it's been, I'm telling you, 59 minutes and I see that on the clock, like, okay, we're done. My trainer's like, oh, you're here for 60. We have another minute to go. I'm like, oh my God. She's like, no, like you're here for 60 minutes. Like put in the effort. Like she's amazing. And she's like, no, this is a 60-minute session.
You got another minute left.
You got another minute. I'm like, oh, okay. But that's why I hire her because she's there to hold me accountable. She's like, no, we're here for 60 minutes, not 59. What?
The accountability is such a big part of it.
Yes.
Such a big part of
it. Yeah, 100%. And as much as I know people can say, hey, a friend will hold me accountable, But you know what? A friend won't in the same way that a trainer who you're paying will.
Right. Right.
And you might have that day where you want to cancel, but do you want to forfeit that paid session? Right? Is it worth it versus just letting down a friend because you were going to meet for a class?
Right. Right. I have had like over the years, so many people say, like, man, I did not want to show up today. Yeah. I'm tired, but I paid for this. And so I'm here. Okay. Listen, whatever gets you in the gym, whatever gets you working out and moving. Okay.
Because how often do you actually regret working out?
Never.
You know, never. There are times when I don't want to go. And I will say, you know, like I'm not feeling my best today. And so my trainer might be like, okay, that's good to know. But I never leave thinking, I wish I didn't come.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. What do you think are some misconceptions people have about hiring a trainer beyond looking weak? Because I know that's definitely a misconception that you will look weak or it's a sign of weakness. What are some other things you can think of?
The biggest misconception I get sometimes with when clients begin to work with me is, okay, I've now hired a trainer. Magically, I'm going to transform and look so different like overnight. And this 1 hour or 2 hours a week I spend with Liz is going to be enough to get me where I need to go in terms of my physical, you know, physical shape or, you know, whatever, you know, weight loss or whatever, you know, result they're looking for. That is the number one. And I really have to level set expectations with clients that they've embarked on this journey. Amazing. So proud of them. It's going to take work outside of their time with me.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
It just is like, I tell like my clients a lot of times, hey, you're with me 2 times a week, which is 2 hours. That's fantastic. What I'm going to give you in between is going to be really important so that when you get to our session, you're ready to go, right? It's going to take some outside work. So I always level set out of the gate with my clients that while it's fantastic you've taken this step, I am not solely going to be able to change your entire, you know, look or life or whatever it is that you came to me for. It is going to take work on your end. The other misconception I get, and I'm sure we're all sort of guilty of this at some point. I certainly know I am, and I know it's not true, that like one meal is going to offset everything you've done in the gym. Or that one weekend where you went away and you just forgot about, you know, eating healthy and you kind of just had fun or whatever it is, that somehow that is going to, you know, like I said, offset or change or ruin everything that you have done in the gym. And I get that a lot with women. I get that a lot. My clients will come in and it'll be like Monday, you know, I have a list of clients on a Monday and they come in, they're like, oh, you know, the weekend I ate this or I did this. I'm like, you don't look any different. That's might feel a little different. Your stomach might feel like a little more bloated, or you might be a little more lethargic, but it's not going to change that drastically. That visual or that idea that you have in your head about how drastically that might have affected you, it's not reality. And so again, like level setting with clients, like here's reality and here's what you're telling yourself. And I need to somehow get into that little brain of yours where you're telling yourself these things and shift to what is actually happening. And the actual reality of it is one meal or one weekend is not going to ruin your whole, you know, the last 4 weeks you just did at the gym. No, it's just simply not.
Exactly. It's more so what are you doing in general in your lifestyle day after day versus one meal. But
correct.
One amazing thing about that is that they can talk to you about that, right? They have you to give them that check that like, hey, come back to reality. It's not the end of the world by having that one meal. But for people, and I like for my self, and, a lot of people think I hire this trainer for the physical aspect. We're working out together. But there is so much more to it. And I imagine for you, beyond like you said, they're seeing you twice a week. And you may, come up with a plan or some input on how they're going to live the other days of the week, right?
Yes.
And I imagine you talk about that and you support them and you are there for them emotionally as well. If they have problems, they can talk it out with you. If they're having obstacles or if they're doing some sort of challenge, like when I had I was training for the 29029 Everesting challenge, which was 20 weeks. And a lot of people said like, hey, did that come with a training plan? I said, yes, it did. But I also had my trainer who was supporting me, but also she was my cheerleader. She was there with me. She was texting me and we were talking about what we could do together in the gym, but she was also supporting me outside of the gym. And we were talking about, like food I could eat so that I don't get an upset stomach and just all of the different factors to have that coach and that support for me there. And if I had said, I ate a crappy meal on the weekend, she would put me in check and be like, hey, come on, right?
Yeah.
Without that person, it's so hard to navigate those things on your own and mentally.
Yes.
And so the role that you play, it goes far beyond your 2 sessions a week.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
For sure. Yes.
Yeah. Which is, I think, something that is often just not even realized by those who are considering hiring a trainer. And another thing I want to say is, I notice a lot of people, they kind of hum and haw. Should I hire someone? Should I not? But the reality is, Liz, is when someone signs up with you, they're not signing up for a lifelong, they're not in it forever, right? Like, and they could even sign up with you. Could they meet with you for 1 session? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I oftentimes so I usually have first session is on me.
Okay.
Let's see if you even like this.
Okay.
Let's see, do you like me? Do I like you?
Are we a fit? Yeah.
Are we going to be okay?
Yes.
Is this relationship going to gel and work? So my first session with people always on me to see if this is going to work on both ends. Other times I will, I live in Florida. So my clientele sometimes can trend a little older. And so I oftentimes with some of the women who are just, like I said before, scared to walk into a gym because they don't know what they're doing. I will spend about an hour and a half with a new client and literally just go through each machine and what each machine does for your body, for your muscles. And sometimes I just, that's all I'll do. And let them decide on their own whether or not they would like to hire me to work with me. But giving them just that knowledge and that education on, okay, this is for your bicep. This is for your quad. This is how you use it. This is what setting you would put it on. It's very overwhelming for people sometimes. So just kind of educating them can also just be one of my sessions.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that just so much energy and thought is put into, should I do it? When it's like, you know what? Just do the 1 session, see how that goes, and then go from there. Or, and then you could book another session, right? Like you're not, this is not a marriage or it's not a contract, right? It is like, you're not signing up to forever. So it's like, I think that might be easier for people to grasp. Okay, let's just see how 1 session goes. And then I can see if it's worth it or if I want to continue.
Correct. I also think that my goal, again, my personal goal, my philosophy is I want to work with people and then let them fly.
Yes. Okay.
I don't want people to feel like, oh, well, you're a trainer, you just want to stay with me for the next 2 years or 3 years. And no.
Okay.
I would like to work with you for 2 to 6 months to get you comfortable, to get you to see results that you are looking for. And then I want you to be able to have incorporated everything that we've done. Now you've changed your lifestyle to, as if like working out as a part of that lifestyle now.
Yes.
And now I can set you on your own. You shouldn't need me. If you want to keep me around, amazing. But it shouldn't be an, oh my God, I can't do this because I don't know what I'm doing without this person, situation. It should be, I can do this. I can definitely do this on my own. Working out and fitness is now a really important part of my life. And if I need Liz, that's fantastic. And if I don't, that was the goal to start.
Yep. And I imagine they can always kind of come back, touch base every once in a while.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned, so getting or seeing results is a huge factor. You want people to be able to see results,
Sure.
which sometimes requires getting out of your usual comfort zone and being pushed. So how do you kind of push people in a way that still allows them to feel supported?
Good question. I've worked with a lot of different ages over my years as a trainer. I've worked with 20-year-olds. I've worked with high school kids. I've worked with women my age. I've worked with older women whose goal was just to be able to sit up off of a chair.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? I've sort of seen it all. And so how I've learned to push individuals is by getting to know them and getting to know why they're here, if that makes sense. If I don't know why you have asked me to be your trainer, or I don't know why you have gotten to this point, how can I possibly just keep pushing you over and over again, like for one more rep? Like if I know why you sought me out and what the real reason is behind it, we can get to a different level. We can achieve different results. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that's such a good point. Asking them, why are you here? Or why did you hire me? Because I think a lot of people don't actually know their why.
Right.
And so it's establishing what their why is and then communicating it.
Yeah. I had one girl, and she it was actually her mom that reached out to me.
Okay.
And she's 20 years old at the time. And, she's now 26 and married, I believe. And I went to her wedding. But when I met her, she was, your typical college senior student. I mean, getting up at noon, eating a bag of chips for lunch, going out at night, lots of beer was involved, all the things, right? When you're 20, 21 years old and in college, and lacked any motivation to enter a gym. Okay. Wow. Just did not want to do it. And her mom reached out to me because her mom was like concerned about her health, and she was, her weight was, she was gaining some weight and she was pretty unhealthy. And her mom reached out and said, she needs somebody other than me. Because, a mom's in the ear all the time and she's not listening to her own mother. And I met with her and I worked with her consistently 3 times a week for a year. And then we tapered it off to once a week. And then eventually she was on her own. When I tell you the transformation that girl made, her whole lifestyle changed. And I figured out what her why was, and not her mother's. And the second we dove into that and we like really examined like why she didn't want to work out, why she didn't want to go to a gym. When we figured that out, we were able to pivot our workouts and our time together to make it more meaningful and more impactful. And she has since changed her whole lifestyle. I'll still get messages from her like at the gym, because when I don't with most of my clients, if I give them stuff to do on like their off day, like I'll make them send me a text message screenshot of like them on the treadmill, like, hey, I'm doing something.
Yes.
Again, that accountability
Yes.
factor.
Yeah. I love that.
But I still to this day get messages like me and her husband, like, her husband's like me and so were at the gym today, like still going strong 6 years later. I mean, transformed her whole life. And how she will now live her life, right? Because she's in her early 20s. That sets the foundation for her 30s, her 40s. I mean, she changed it. And she, I went to her wedding last year and just, I wish I could show like the before and after. I mean, because obviously the results were there, but her mindset just changed, and discovering why it was important to her was the most valuable part of our time together.
That's amazing. Because I can imagine that it's a tricky situation with a mom. Yes, I imagine a mom would have different motivation or a different why than the daughter herself.
Correct.
But then for the mom to be concerned and navigate that in a way that doesn't leave a scar with her daughter.
Yes. That was which is why when I really look at the balance and the whole picture, like why that's really important to me personally as a trainer. Could I have just taken, the check, done my sessions and moved on? Sure. But would that girl have made the lifestyle shift that she did? I'm not sure. Probably not. Right. And it is super, that was like one story, that's one story. And then I have women that are in their 30s, 40s, more in like their 40s who are like hitting perimenopause and menopause, and like their reasons for doing this are different. So it's so critical just to know why somebody wants this.
Absolutely. Okay. I'd love to talk a little more about your involvement with the younger girls, and because you are involved in the girls lacrosse team and you have experience working with them. And I imagine that is a role that, you're where there's a lot of fulfillment because you can really influence them and kind of not say break any sort of cycles or like mentality, but you can really help to shape their future. We're talking about how women or a lot of moms now have the mentality of having to do it all on their own. So, and now you have that influence of saying like, hey, this is a team effort. I'm curious about how your experience in working with the young girls has affected or has allowed you to teach the girls the value of teamwork in supporting goals.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good question. And I'm going to try not to get emotional about this because it's a topic that I care a lot about. But when I took over as the lacrosse coach 5 years ago at the school, it became very clear to me that my role in this team was going to be way bigger than just a coach calling plays and running drills. And I think if you're a good coach or you're a good, mentor in a kid's life, like you start to see the bigger picture and the influence that you are about to have on these kids. Right. And so what model do I want to be for them?
Yeah.
And what example do I want to set? What a blessing to have this opportunity and this responsibility really in their life. Being part of a team for them, right? They're in high school, they're 9th through 12th grade kids. being part of a team to them right now in this moment in their life is, are they having fun at practice, right? Do they have a good game? Like, it's not necessarily, they're not quite yet seeing the bigger picture. Some of my seniors that have since graduated, they get it. And they've come back and they've said, hey, like we understood the message. Like, now we understand the message. And the message is you are not, right? The team is bigger than you. And so your role on that has to be bigger than you think, right? How you show up for people, how you treat people, how you respond to people. Are you a good person off this field like you are on it, right? Like, and so modeling for them, and again, my message to these kids all the time and all these young women is, we can't do this by ourselves, right? There's not going to be one girl who scores every time the whole game, right? Someone's got to pass the ball to her. Someone's got to run down the field to her, right? You have to start to rely on other people to get the result that you are looking for or that you need. And so teaching them now that being part of a team is like, take the bigger picture of life. You're asking for help. And it's okay. And that's actually how you're more successful. And so I try to like instill that in them like all the time. And, you know, again, some of them might go like in one ear, out the other. But I do think that for the most part, they get it and they understand what we're trying to do, but also like, maybe I'm just layering in little pieces of, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to, you know, this is how a team works. We're more successful when we're surrounded by other people. We're more successful when somebody's pushing us to be a little bit more, you know, to run a little harder or move a little faster, or whatever it is. Like, we are more successful than if we just try to do this by ourselves.
I love that so much. And because I can see as they age and move on to, you know, like university and working, you know, working in a team in university, and then in a workplace. And then when you have your own family, you're also a team. And
You are.
how you take care of yourself, especially as the parent, it's not just affecting you. This is for the whole family. For you to take care of yourself as a mom, it is benefiting everybody. It goes so far beyond just yourself. But yeah, you need a team to get there. It's not an individual sport.
No.
I'd love to know how you role model for your daughter. You said you have a 13-year-old, and how you model confidence and health and wellness behaviors.
This is a good question. And I hope I do it justice in my answer. I never talk about it.
Yeah. Okay.
If that makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
I do not talk about my body. I don't talk about how I look in something. I just don't talk about it. Ever since Emily, so Emily's going to be 13 in November.
Okay.
I worked out with her until the day she was born. I worked out with my son until the day he was born. And we quite literally as a family haven't really stopped doing that.
Yep.
So my husband and I met at a gym. Ironic. Met at a gym. And so fitness has always sort of been part of our life. And so we just work out and we just go to the gym, and the kids just sort of grew up knowing that.
Yep.
I can remember when they were little, and the gym didn't have a kids center or daycare or whatever. We would just quite literally put them in a corner in the gym where we were with their coloring books, and they just watched mommy and daddy work out. Like it just got to happen. So they've always known it, and they grew up with it. That being said, my daughter is obviously reaching this stage, right, where she's like a little more focused on things. And what I am noticing is that the years of, as a family, going for a walk, going to the gym, we do the, not sure if you're familiar, but the Murph Challenge.
Okay. No.
Over Memorial Day weekend. So it's this really tough workout, but it honors the vets. And we do it over Memorial Day weekend. It's like 100 push-ups. I can't even go into it. But anyway, our kids do it with us,
Okay.
is my point. We do it as a family. So fitness and exercise is just kind of part of our lifestyle. And now it's sort of part of the kids' lifestyle. What I'm noticing with my daughter, which is, knock on wood, she's not like hyper focused on any of it.
Okay.
She's not super focused. She's like, I'm strong. I know I can run. Like, that is the confidence I was hoping would be there at this age.
Yep. Okay.
And I just don't talk about it.
Yeah,
I think that's my biggest piece of advice.
I mean, because you are showing them and you
I just
are
show them.
doing it. And I think that
Correct.
is the most powerful way to do it beyond
Correct.
words.
Yes. And I do think having your children be a part of it is super important, and super influential on how they then take that information and what they do with it. Letting them be a part of the meal prep, letting them cook with me. We do family dinners. Like, I don't not eat pasta. It's not evil. Like, pasta's, I'm Italian. Like, letting them see healthy, balanced meals, fitness, all that stuff is showing them versus telling them.
That's right. Because if they're seeing that you're making a family meal for the three of them, and you're like, you know what, but I'm not going to have any pasta. I'm not eating pasta this month.
Yes.
What is that saying to them?
Correct. Yes. I sure have I thought about it? Like, oh, I don't really want to eat that right now. And I will make a decision. And my husband and I have talked about this. Like, I will eat it regardless. You want to know why? Because I've got two little sets of eyes watching what I do. And so that's way more important to me than not eating pasta one time.
Yeah, same here. Sometimes when we go out for ice cream as a family, I just don't want the ice cream. But it's a family. I'm just not in the mood for it. But
Eat the ice cream.
But it's a family event, and so I eat the ice cream because everyone's eating the ice cream. And you know what? Ice cream or food, it just tastes so much better when everyone is doing it. And so I just bite the bullet and I eat the ice cream for the family. And it's not because I'm trying to watch my food intake. I just don't feel like it, which again, that could be a lesson, just communicating, hey, right now, I just don't feel like it. But for me, it's easier. I'll just eat the ice cream and everyone, and I'm being included in that family outing.
Yes.
But we have talked about this in the past that, you know, sometimes working out or fitness can be a very isolated part of an adult or a parent's life that their kids aren't witnessing. And by allowing them to see that you are engaging in activity, whether it's together or just allowing them to see you working out at the gym, doing the exercises, is incredibly powerful versus saying, today I went to the gym, but they don't see it. They don't see their parent working out. Right. And that it makes the world of a difference by having them actually exposed to it and doing it with you. And I'm not saying that the young kids are going to be weight training with me, but going out for walks, running around together, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yep.
Super important.
Yes, absolutely. Liz, for those who are considering, you know, maybe they should hire a trainer, what are some things that they should look for in the right trainer or mentor for them?
Right. Great question. I think, kind of circling back to what I said about, like, when I give the first session, just free for people, I think that there has to be a connection between you and who you're going to hire. And I think that goes both ways, right?
Yes.
There have been certainly clients over my years where I'm like, that caused me more stress than it did joy. When you are looking for somebody, do your research. There are trainers out there that can go online and get, spend 2 hours and get a class and call themselves a trainer. There are trainers like myself who spent like almost 6 months training and studying for their certification through the International Sports and Science Association certification program. So you want to make sure, first and foremost, like the person really knows their stuff and really knows different ways in which they can help different body types, right? Because every body is different. And so not what works for me is not going to work for you. So make sure they know how to train on different levels and in different worlds and different capacities. Okay. The most important thing though is do you have a connection? Once you find that person and you sit down and meet with them, which I think is incredibly important. There should be a meeting with you and the person before you even set foot in a gym. I like to sit down for like 30 minutes with somebody, grab a coffee and say, okay, walk me through why we're here. Mm-hmm. Why did you call me? Talk to me about your lifestyle. Talk to me about your goals. Those conversations should happen before you walk into whatever gym. And they will, and trainers will do that. Trainers at a gym or trainers who train like myself and have their own business. And if they don't do that, then you probably want to pivot and go somewhere else. But yeah, that connection is important, and having somebody who has a good solid foundation and background.
Okay. Oh, that sounds great. So some sort of meet and greet, a connection, and allowing them to understand what your health goals are.
Yes.
Okay. Your why.
Your why.
Yeah.
Exactly. Gotta know the why.
Yeah, exactly. If you could leave listeners with one last message about how they can unlock their potential, big question, what would it be?
Big question. I believe my one thing they should take away is that listeners, you are capable of so much more than you think you are. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And find that person or that trainer or that someone or that mentor who will help you unlock it if you are stuck. I tell the lacrosse team, my daughter has a pillow with it on her bed. You can do hard things. It's not, this is a concept that was said by Glennon Doyle, way back when. You can do hard things and you're capable of it.
Yep. I love it. Thank you so much, Liz. We could go on and on.
We could.
Yeah. Maybe another time, but thank you so much for
another
coming.
Time, darling.
Yes, that was wonderful. So thank you for being here.
Good. Of course.
Liz, for any listeners who want to reach out to you, how can they find you or connect?
Oh, great. So I have my own website and you can look that up. It is www.revitalizefit.com. And the Revitalize doesn't have an E. So just Revitalize Fit without the E at the end. And I also have an Instagram handle. Obviously, Revitalize Fit is my Instagram handle. My email and my phone number are on my website. And there's also on the website, like if you want to have a consultation, there's an appropriate place to reach out for either a phone conversation, a Zoom conversation, either one.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much, Liz.